Welcome to today's roundup of the most impactful global news stories. From maritime crises in the Persian Gulf to historic political decisions in the United States and diplomatic breakthroughs in Asia, the world is witnessing rapid changes. We'll break down the top 5 events shaping international affairs, explain their significance, and highlight the advanced vocabulary you need to understand these complex developments. Let's dive into the details, starting with the urgent shipping crisis in the Persian Gulf. The Persian Gulf is currently facing a major shipping crisis. The International Maritime Organization, IMO, and the Sultanate of Oman have launched an emergency evacuation for 11,000 seafarers and hundreds of commercial vessels trapped in the region. This operation follows a surprise ceasefire agreement between the United States and Iran, which paused a highly volatile military conflict. The situation is tense, and the safety of thousands depends on careful coordination between international agencies. Additional shipping lanes through the Strait of Hormuz are now littered with floating sea mines, making them extremely unsafe for passage. The IMO and Oman have mapped out 2 new temporary maritime corridors, one along the Omani coast and another along the Iranian coast. Each ship is being contacted individually and assigned a strictly controlled day for exit transit. This careful planning is crucial to ensure the safe extraction of stranded crew members and prevent further escalation. A historic move, the U.S. Senate passed a War Powers Resolution with a razor-thin 50-48 vote, legally blocking further military actions against Iran. This marks the first successful attempt after 9 previous failures since joint U.S.-Israeli missile strikes hit Iran earlier this year. The vote fractured party lines, with 4 Republican senators joining Democrats. High-profile absences, including Senator Mitch McConnell's hospitalization, influenced the outcome, making this a dramatic political moment. Senate's vote was not just about numbers, it was about political drama. 4 Republican senators defected from their party, voting with Democrats to block military action. Meanwhile, the absence of key GOP members, including Senator Mitch McConnell, shifted the balance. This political pushback comes as the Pentagon requests $80 billion from Congress to fund the war and replenish military munitions, highlighting the high stakes involved. Major maritime safety report reveals that war and geopolitical turbulence have fundamentally changed the rules of international shipping. The traditional, just-in-time logistics model, which prioritized maximum cost efficiency, is now broken. The closure of primary maritime chokepoints has forced companies to rethink their strategies, focusing on operational resilience rather than speed and cost. Companies are now building operational resilience by choosing longer, heavily insured, and more expensive ocean routes to bypass dangerous geopolitical hotspots. This shift means higher insurance premiums and increased costs, which will eventually lead to higher prices for imported goods. The focus has moved from minimizing costs to ensuring safety and adaptability in global supply chains. New Delhi, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi and Indian National Security Advisor Ajit Doval held pivotal face-to-face talks during the BRICS NSA's meeting. Out of about 50 dialogue mechanisms between the 2 countries, most have been frozen due to intense military standoffs along their shared Himalayan border. This meeting signals a possible thaw in relations, with both sides exploring ways to resume trade and financial exchanges. Minister Wang Yi urged India to accelerate trade and financial exchanges, suggesting that both superpowers place their boundary dispute in its appropriate position. This means China wants to shelf the border argument for now to avoid freezing broader economic ties. NSA Doval countered by emphasizing that stable, predictable relations require verified trust and mutual respect for core concerns. The dialogue reflects the delicate balance between economic cooperation and security. After a strict, week-long preventative ban, Indian internet service providers and telecom operators have fully restored access to the messaging platform Telegram. The ban was requested by the National Testing Agency, NTA, right before the high-stakes NEET re-examination, due to concerns about message editing and potential exam leaks. Officials feared scammers could manipulate timestamps, causing nationwide panic among students. Telegram tried to legally challenge the ban in the Delhi High Court, but Justice Tejas Karia upheld the government's action, ruling that a temporary 1-week ban to protect exam integrity was legally proportionate. Digital rights groups, however, argue that validating this blanket ban sets a dangerous precedent, normalizing platform-wide internet censorship in India and making it easier for the government to shut down communications in the future. Let's explore the advanced vocabulary highlighted in today's news. First, chokepoint refers to a strategic narrow route, often maritime, that can be easily blocked or controlled. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz is a classic example, showing how vulnerable global trade is to a single chokepoint. Understanding this term is crucial for grasping the risks faced by international shipping. Next, rebuke means an expression of sharp disapproval or criticism, or to reprimand. The Senate's surprise vote serves as a sharp rebuke to the administration's foreign policy, signaling strong opposition and a demand for change. This word is often used in political contexts to describe actions that challenge or criticize leadership. Unilateral describes an action performed by or affecting only one person, group, or country involved in a situation, without the agreement of others. Many lawmakers expressed concern over entering conflicts through unilateral actions, emphasizing the importance of consensus and cooperation in international relations. Bilateral means involving two parties or countries. Both diplomats agreed that keeping communications open is vital for stabilizing bilateral relations. This term is key in diplomacy, where mutual agreements and cooperation between two nations are essential for peace and progress. Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, showing toughness or adaptability. Global supply chains are shifting their focus from minimizing costs to building long-term resilience. This shift is essential for businesses facing unpredictable geopolitical risks and disruptions. An international shipping corporation decides to bypass a shorter, cheaper canal route in favor of longer ocean journey because the shorter route passes through an unstable political region based on today's news vocabulary. This corporation is prioritizing global supply chain, actively avoiding a geopolitical A. Unilateralism/rebuke. B. Resilience/chokepoint. C. Bilateralism/chokepoint. D. Resilience/rebuke. Here's another scenario. Country A launches a surprise trade tariff against Country B without consulting any international allies or trading blocs. In response, Country A's own parliament votes heavily to condemn and cancel the tariff, stating that international trade agreements should always be mutually agreed upon. The parliament's vote represents a rebuke of the leader's unilateral trade policy, emphasizing the need for bilateral cooperation. The evacuation of 11,000 seafarers is not just a logistical challenge, it's a humanitarian issue. Crew members are facing uncertainty, stress, and potential danger as they await safe passage out of the Persian Gulf. International cooperation is vital to ensure their safety and well-being, highlighting the importance of global solidarity in times of crisis. Mapping out new maritime corridors and assigning exit days for each ship requires precise coordination. The IMO and Oman are using advanced communication tools and strict protocols to manage the evacuation. This operation demonstrates the complexity of international logistics and the need for robust systems in emergency situations. The Senate's decision to block further military action against Iran comes at a time when the Pentagon is requesting $80 billion to fund the war. The political stakes are high, with party lines fractured and public opinion divided. This moment reflects the tension between military strategy and democratic oversight. The closure of key maritime chokepoints has disrupted global trade, forcing companies to adopt new strategies. Longer routes, higher insurance premiums, and increased costs are now the norm. Consumers will feel the impact through higher prices for imported goods, showing how geopolitical events can affect everyday life. China-India talks in New Delhi highlight the challenges of diplomacy in a tense geopolitical environment. With most dialogue mechanisms frozen, both sides are seeking ways to rebuild trust and resume cooperation. The balance between economic interests and security concerns remains delicate, requiring careful negotiation. A telegram ban in India was implemented to protect exam integrity, but it had significant effects on students. Many were unable to communicate or access information during the critical NEET re-examination period. The controversy raises questions about balancing security and digital rights in the age of instant messaging. Justice Tejas Karia's ruling in the Delhi High Court upheld the government's decision to ban Telegram temporarily. While the ban was deemed proportionate for protecting exam integrity, digital rights groups warned that such actions could normalize internet censorship. The debate continues over the balance between security and freedom of communication. The shift from just-in-time logistics to operational resilience is reshaping global supply chains. Companies are investing in safer, more reliable routes and higher insurance coverage. This transformation is driven by the need to adapt to unpredictable geopolitical risks and ensure long-term stability. As companies choose longer and safer routes, insurance premiums for shipping have surged. This financial fallout is a direct result of increased risks in maritime transport. Higher premiums mean higher costs for businesses and, ultimately, consumers, illustrating the ripple effect of geopolitical instability. China-India talks underscore the importance of diplomatic balance. While China urges India to focus on trade, India insists on verified trust and respect for core concerns. This delicate negotiation reflects the broader challenges of maintaining stable international relations amid unresolved disputes. controversy over Telegram's ban highlights the ongoing debate about digital rights and government authority. While protecting exam integrity is important, critics argue that blanket bans threaten freedom of communication and set dangerous precedents for internet censorship. The balance between security and rights remains a contentious issue. Today's global news reveals a world in flux: maritime crises, political drama, shifting trade strategies, diplomatic negotiations, and digital controversies. The advanced vocabulary discussed helps us understand these complex events. As global dynamics evolve, resilience, cooperation, and adaptability are more important than ever. Stay informed and prepared for the challenges ahead.